Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. May Allah guide us through this path and get us to be pure, जो भी हम काम कर रहे हैं इकट्ठे. So हमारा पहला जो we are looking at the first scenario, spouse speaks rudely to you in public and even laughs at you. So quickly हम इसको देखते हैं कि what do we have to remember, whatever happens, मकसद शादी का हमें याद रखना. What is our role? To be in tranquility with our husband, provide that with ourselves, peace पे हों, उनको भी हम peace दें. So we remember that and belief systems को भी हम check में रखते हैं कि वो अल किताब के साथ match करें and not have some other standards from a movie or something else like that. तो ये हमारा constant stable datum है. And we keep the ayat, as I mentioned, इसको हम अपने we keep it at the forefront of everything we do in a marriage. So affinity पे बात हुई कि affinity क्या है, emotional attitude, degree of liking. तो वो आप देख रहे हैं कि आपकी affinity at that point जब ये हो रहा है, आपकी अपने लिए affinity क्या है. You know, watch that. Watch the affinity of you on that issue. Watch the affinity of your spouse on that area. So affinity is very closely related. जब आप बात भी कर रहे हैं, you have to keep it in mind कि affinity आपकी अपने लिए drop तो नहीं हो रही, उनके लिए तो drop नहीं हो रही, issue पे तो drop नहीं हो रही. तीन चीजों को watch करें. And then you go on to reality. You know, see कि आपकी reality ये है, he will have another reality. Asal reality बातचीत करें तो maybe it's something else, you know, and it's neither yours nor his. And then of course the reality that you're aiming for, वो al-kitab पे, and you're basing that on that कि हमें इस तरफ जाना है. So we looked at the reality का जो talk था, उसमें हम कह रहे थे हम अपनी reality बढ़ाते रहते हैं. And inshallah we are all doing that through our study of the Quran, Sirah. We are doing that daily basis पे. Knowledge base आप बढ़ा रहे हैं on relationships. ये चीजें जो हम सीख रहे हैं इकट्ठे, you know, and you're asking questions. और अपनी level of consciousness को आप constantly बढ़ा रहे हैं. So in the reality, you're always going, ये आयतें भी हमने quote की थी कि Surah 242 में go for haq, away from batil, and do not confuse haq, do not confuse, obscure or disguise. जब बात कर रहे हो truth की तरफ, उसको mix up नहीं करें, obscure नहीं करें. Watch it कि आपके spouse कर रहे हैं या नहीं. You know, just be aware of it and apply that ayat. Avoid assuming things. इससे भी बहुत arguments हो जाते हैं. You know, sometimes you assume something and it's not really true. तो वो भी आयत Surah 49, ayat 12. And do not follow of which you have no knowledge. You know, बहुत सारे तरीके and चीजें इंटरनेट पे मिलती हैं, ये करो to sort out your relationships. To make sure you've got solid knowledge on it कि ये करना भी चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए. You know, there's no quick pill really. कोई quick pill नहीं है. I'm sorry to say कि ये ले लेंगे तो सही हो जाएगा. You know, it's like it is an effort, it's an understanding, it's a unique relationship जो आपका अपने spouse के साथ है, मेरे spouse के साथ है. It's nothing similar. You know, basic tools हैं, लेकिन relationship is very unique. जो आप जानते हैं, आपके spouse जानते हैं, and nobody else really knows about it, and you know how to progress it. So all the time, your purpose is to make yourself better, make a better spouse relationship, and help your spouse. These three things आप focus में रखते हैं और long term को देखते हैं. उस एक event पे नहीं focus करें. That's going to lead you into I must win this argument. ये चीजें छोड़ दें. You know, we don't focus on that. So then we had communication. Of course, communication is very key, that you are watching. You're watching what happened there at that gathering. You're watching when you're speaking to your spouse. How is he reacting? What is he doing? So आपकी sense perception is very important. And of course, जो आप communicate कर रहे हैं, वो भी आपके लिए बहुत important है कि how you say it. Do you offend him? Do you make him defensive? or do you give him space to say anything and he feels safe in your presence? So make sure that everything is real for you there, and your degree of affinity आपकी कम भी हो सकती है, ज़्यादा भी हो सकती है. You need to keep it very high, right? So ये दोनों चीजें आपके कंट्रोल में हैं. Two, you're talking about a life situation. You're aiming for very high reality with your spouse and very high affinity. तो ये तीन चीजें, and as we said, how do we talk? And we apply the ayat Surah 16:125, invite to the way of your Rabb with wisdom and good instruction, and argue with them in a way that is best. So ye cheez always we'll keep in mind, inshallah, and not get carried away by our emotions. And you can go into the detail of the root word meanings if you want to look at an earlier lecture. Okay. So ये हमारे our bases are for the ARC equals understanding. एक point गिरेगा तो दूसरे दो गिरेंगे, इसका मतलब understanding गिरेगी. So अगर आपकी affinity low हो गई while you're talking to him, so your reality is going to go down, your communication is going to go down with him, and your understanding. So you have to keep a watch on your one and on his one. He can go down as well. So इसको नजर में रखें कि आप कि अगर his affinity is going down, what are you going to do? What do you think you should do? अगर affinity down चली गई है उनकी, he doesn't like it, it's like, what are you talking about? So you have to एक उनकी reality पे बात करें जिस चीज पे वो agree कर रहे हैं. You say, well, if he says it was a nice gathering, I really enjoyed myself. You say, yeah, I enjoyed the food, it was very nice, I talked to that. Agreement बढ़ाएं ताकि वापस आप communication में आ जाएं. So you have to get that line in कि इस issue पे बात हो. अगर आपस में झगड़ा हो जाता है तो line नहीं है, please don't talk about it. You have to first make sure कि वो line smoothly in है, फिर आपकी बात सुनी भी जाएगी, समझी भी जाएगी. लेकिन if he's on the defensive and his affinity is low and he doesn't want to talk about it, there's no point in talking on that issue. You have to first clear the ground कि ऐसा atmosphere हो जो आप दोनों willing हैं बात सुनने के लिए. Yeah, so understanding we all work on in our marriage. It's a daily thing. It's a journey. We have to invest time in it, effort in it, and inshallah we'll keep doing that. So in terms of a spousal relationship, हमने cover किया था कि mutual respect is very key at all times, open, honest communication, shared values and goals, strong emotional bond, effective conflict resolution, जो हम अभी बात कर रहे हैं कि कैसे करें, right? Shared responsibility, support and encouragement, and mutual trust. This is what we are aiming for in order to have a very good spousal relationship, meeting जो हमारा मकसद है in Islam, to serve Allah Ta'ala through our lifetimes. So that would be how we will do it. So ये थोड़ा सा we had covered the actual meaning of Zawj and how it encompassed so much. It wasn't that though people, when we say when two people become one, ये फिल्मों में दिखाया जाता है, लेकिन it's totally wrong. You have to correct that belief system. आप अलग हैं, वो अलग हैं, and that you are an individual on your own, and Allah Ta'ala has brought you together because you are different. So you have to value that difference. And hota kya hai ki we do really, we really care and fall in love with our husbands, and sometimes we think that they are us. So when we think something, we think they should think the same thing. कि इतनी closeness आ जाती है, right? So you have to correct that thing, that that you keep that separation between you and him, and know that they will think differently. And we covered these points कि आप remain calm at all times. Choose a good time and place to talk. Make sure interruptions नहीं होंगे. Be open to any solutions, creative solutions जो आए. Talk about issues and not about people. Don't attack him or his relatives or your, don't do that. Use I statements. I feel that way, I felt this way. To me, it appeared like that. Acknowledge points of agreement. Describe your emotions. Be specific in describing what you need, right? So make sure end off by saying, okay, it would be nice if I was treated like this. And listen carefully and restate what you have heard, right? अगर वो कुछ कह भी रहे हैं and आपको लग रहा है कि ये मतलब है इसका, तो just ask a question rather than getting straight upset about it कि ये कैसे बोल दिया, so just verify it. Okay, what do you mean by that? Or did you mean this? Okay, so हम कह रहे हैं कि key elements before conversation starts. पहला जैसे आप लोगों ने कवर भी किया, that you check, emotional check अपना करें. ये हो गया एक गैदरिंग में outside. Now, here you are with all this emotion inside you. You're sitting in the car. You know you're very emotional. So drop it. Don't even go there. घर जाके भी नहीं बात करें until you've handled it. So identify the type of conflict. Identify किस किस्म का conflict है. Is it like a value conflict, interest conflict, power conflict? It could be a power conflict that, the spouse thinks, well, I can do this because I'm a man. It could be that. So identify करें कि किस चीज पे आपका लग रहा है conflict. So the more you sort of break it up, the more understanding you have of what it's about. Personality difference को देखें, आपका consciousness level क्या है, spouse का क्या है. ये भी हो सकता है कि आप दोनों का it is a match कर रहा है personality level, लेकिन उस topic पे नहीं कर रहा. Sometimes we are very hot about one topic. Otherwise you're okay, but उस topic पे बात करोगे तो हम गर्म हो जाएंगे. So watch out also for that kind के issue पे तो क्या है, what is the consciousness level on that. तो आपकी जिम्मेवारी है कि resolve your emotion and replace belief systems to align with Al-Kitab before you have any conversation on this topic. ये आपने कर लिया, right? फिर आप अपना चेक करेंगे कि अपने लिए आपको अफिनिटी है. अगर आप समझ रही हैं कि मेरी बेइज्जती हो गई, उसने मैं ये किया, तो पहले तो वो तो हैंडल करें. You can't go into that with all that emotional charge. Do you agree with me on that? Okay, we should be handling our emotional charge before. वो हमारी अपनी है. It's got nothing to do with him. We can say उन्होंने किया, लेकिन you should see it as a blessing. Okay, he did it and it came up and you are hurt about something. So it gives you a chance to handle that belief system that upsets you. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're checking your affinity for yourself, for your spouse, and on the issue. आप तीनों पे आपका high level of affinity level होनी चाहिए. So you have a set of rules prior to the conversation, right? जो हमने यहाँ पे बोले ये वाले, right? We said कि ये rules हैं and we want to इसमें थोड़ा सा ऐड भी करेंगे हम कि भाई how can we actually cover this a little more, cover sort of going over 6 में आप क्या 3 मैंने ऐड किए पॉइंट्स कि आप फिनिश दोस्ती की तरह करेंगे, दोस्त की तरह. ये एग्रीमेंट होना चाहिए कोई भी बातचीत होने से. एंड फोकस हमारा लॉन्ग टर्म होगा, उस इशू पे नहीं होएगा बस हो गया जो हो गया. And then if somebody gets emotional, the spouse or yourself will take a break and return to it, but we won't carry on with that. तो ये 3 चीजें आप कर रहे हैं. So we looked at this ayat, looking at the fitra anyway, कि आप में बहुत potential है, आपके husband में भी बहुत potential है, because Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with this fitra. And we look at Surah 11:90 ayat, ask for forgiveness of your Rabb and turn unto him in repentance. Verily my Rabb is most merciful, most loving. So वो qualities हमसे भी गलती हो सकती है, so हम अपने अल्लाह ताला से माफ़ी मांगे अगर हमसे कोई गलती हो गई है, and also you should know that you are also have the qualities of being merciful, of forgiving others, and of loving, and you're full of kindness. So we look at a little more. एक और चीज आपको चेक करनी पड़ेगी कि do you allow that kind of disrespecting behavior that occurred outside in the home, right? You would need to check that. Why would you need to check that? Why do you think you would need to check that?
Because if you're already allowing it at home, and then he accepts it, it's kind of you have agreed upon it.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, unless he's very conscious कि वो दूसरी जगह पे हो रहा है, it can he probably even is not considering that it can be disrespectful to you. ये ख्याल भी नहीं आएगा बंदे को.
Yes, that's true. And what it also shows is you're only caring about it because other people are watching. You otherwise don't care about it.
Right.
Right?
True.
Again, it would need that your belief system. You would need to handle yourself. Why are you allowing it? Because he's, as Sister Fana said, to him it's normal. What's the big deal? If you're allowing it in the home. Okay. So you're convinced that आपका belief system सही है, and you're not allowing it in the home. So where should your attention be while you're talking? Where should your attention be while you're talking? What do you think? और आपका ये ट्रिगर हो जाएगा अगर आपका अटेंशन अपने ऊपर बहुत जा रहा है, तो that means it's something you need to handle on yourself. It should be really on having a good relationship with him and helping him. That's what your role is in this communication, right? और अगर वो बहुत आप अपने ऊपर आ रहा है, मैं पे जा रहा है, मुझे हो गया, मेरे साथ गया, तो then there's something that you need to take a break and handle it, because otherwise it's not going to go, might be a waste of time. So how do you start the conversation? How do you start it? You could just say, how was the evening? How was the evening for you? Did you like it? Is there anything that was, because it could be, let's supposing कि आप घर पे नहीं allow करते, वहीं पे हुआ, right? If that is the situation, how come he did that? It might be that something occurred over there that made him feel defensive and he wanted to show his power or something like that. So, it's important to check unke universe, unki reality kya ho rahi hai, right? So we could check and find out how did it go, what did he think about it. And then you could sort of give your upset, say you're upset, what you're upset about, let's say कि आप कह रहे हैं, उन्होंने बोला कि what do you know about whatever, maybe about artificial intelligence or politics or education. He said that in public. What do you know about it? Right? You're just a baby learner or something like that, right? So he just said that, and that was it. So you got upset about it, right? So we are saying कि आप इसको check करेंगे कि whether आपका first concern होना चाहिए, what happened for him to react like that or say that? Did he feel defensive, right? So ये आप बात शुरू कर देते हैं, and now I'm going to give you examples of what he says, and you're going to tell me what is the wrong thing to say, and then let's say what is the right thing to say, okay? So let's go right here. Pehla example, denial कर रहा है. The spouse says, I didn't say anything rude. You're being overly sensitive. अब क्या बोलेंगे आप? Now you have to keep everything in mind, the ARC, the understanding, the goal, So what would you say? Who wants to have a go at saying? What would they say?
Yeah, the wrong or the right thing, both. or what is the normal response we usually do and then a right thing. So yeah, आप लोग hand raise.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. What is kind of a reflex कि क्या आता है पहले बोलने के लिए? And
So
फिर
I
क्या
didn't say anything rude. You are being overly sensitive. So क्या जवाब दे सकते हैं जो गलत होगा? गलत तो सबको आता है.
बिगाड़ वाले तो आते ही हैं.
Right?
कौन बोलेगा? मैं तो ना ही बोलूं तो अच्छा है, कोई और बोले.
Come on, there are lots of examples. I've got to cover so many of them. Let's go.
हाँ जल्दी से.
Would you like to try it? कोई try करेगा? Bismillah.
मैं कहती हूँ, मैं कहूंगी बादाम खाया करो, याददाश्त कमजोर हो गई.
लो, आ गया जवाब.
Okay.
अब शुरू हो गई लड़ाई.
अच्छा फिर क्या बोलेंगी सिस्टर जवेदा? Sister Joya, what would be the right response? फिर क्या बोले? अगर आपने बोला आपकी याददाश्त तो मेरी याददाश्त तो सही है, तुम्हारी याददाश्त को क्या हो गया?
अच्छा, सिस्टर अज़रा कह रही है कि आप उनका जुमला रिपीट करके बोलेंगे कि आपने ये नहीं कहा, like whatever he said, rude thing. So वो उसको रियलिटी ले रही हैं, बेसिकली चेक कर रही हैं कि वाकई वही बात है जो उन्होंने सुनी. ओके, तो ये राइट है या रॉन्ग है approach?
I mean, you should acknowledge what he said. You should acknowledge it. You say, he says, I didn't say anything rude, you're being overly sensitive. So you should say, oh, I understand you didn't feel you were being rude. Maybe I was a little bit sensitive, but you know, I felt you said this. Am I correct in saying that you said this? You know, you said that, what do you know about politics? You're a baby learner. So I felt, then you go into the I statements, I felt like this, so yeah.
सिस्टर शाजिया कह रही हैं कि I will say I think you don't realize when you say rude thing. Oh my God.
जंग होगी sister. You know. Yeah, so you have to keep the ARC in, the affinity in. आपकी affinity drop हो रही है when you're talking like that, right? So you have to keep that line in. You know, इसकी reality and say, oh, okay. Yeah, perhaps you weren't being rude and I was being overly sensitive. वो agreement भी आ जाती है, आगे बात भी चल पड़ती है, right? Right? And say, I heard you say this, you know, and then, you know, I somehow didn't like it. I felt very introverted when you said it. You know, just describe your emotion and say that, right? Next वाले पे जा रही हूँ, आप कोई और बोले. I was only joking around, you're taking it too seriously. अब कौन करेगा?
नेक्स्ट क्या क्वेश्चन है?
यही वाला है, justification दे रहे हैं. I was only joking around, मैंने बोला तो था.
अच्छा.
I was only joking around. I was taking it too seriously. हाँ.
ये बड़ा कॉमन यूज होता है ना, मजाक से बोला मैंने. You know, आप किसी को दे रहे हो. You know,
और मेरे घर में ऑल द टाइम ऐसे ही होता है.
जोक
रूट से बोल के ना, नहीं जोक किया था ना, मैं कोई सीरियस नहीं लियो ना, जोक किया था ना, तो मैं कहती ऑल द टाइम ऐसे ही जोक करने होते जो मुझे यू नो गुस्सा चढ़ा दें फिर. और ये कैसा जोक है, यू नो, जो अगले को थोड़ा सा हर्ट करे ना, कोई जोक है ये. तो मैं कहती जोक ऐसा होना चाहिए हंसी आए बंदे को, गुस्सा थोड़ी चढ़ाना पड़ता है इसके ऊपर. मेरी जो आगे ये होती है.
ओके.
तो फिर इसको एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए. अच्छा ठीक है, जोक है तो.
You know, you say, oh, okay, you perhaps thought it was a joke, but you know, other people took it funny too and laughed, but they were laughing at me. You know, they were laughing at me, and I felt very, I didn't felt out of place. I felt bad, and I'm sure you didn't want me to feel like that.
Oh yeah.
So why did you feel the need to make a joke on my personality, or you know, was there something else bothering you in the environment? वो check करें, because there probably was. If he doesn't do it, there was probably someone else who was bothering him there.
ये तो सेंटेंस लिखने पड़ेंगे, जो मीठे-मीठे जुमले हैं, ये मुश्किल ही निकलते हैं उस वक़्त से ज़ुबान से।
किस करने
याद
पड़ेंगे
करना
वही
पड़ेगा।
या
रट्टा
नहीं तो
लगाएँगे।
अगर एक बंदा बोल के इस तरह का थोड़ा-सा फिर वो मतलब अब आगे लड़ाई तो बढ़ानी नहीं है, बीवी तो रेडी होगी ना मतलब आगे बात बढ़ाने के लिए। लेकिन अगला ही चुप हो गया मतलब अब रियलाइज़ हो गया ना कि कुछ रॉन्ग बोल दिया है,
हुँ,
तो फिर तो बात खत्म ही होगी ना।
हुँ,
अब स्टिल इसको आगे तो नहीं लेके जाना।
या
I mean,
जी।
it could be that you need to find out कि वहां पे उनको क्या तकलीफ हो रही थी और वो क्यों वो तकलीफ हुई, तो उनका belief system में you might play a role in handling that. Why did he feel like he went into a false self, didn't he? He went into false self to do that to you.
Yeah.
So what caused that, and you could help that him grow spiritually like that. So okay, so और क्या है?
हुँ।
It wasn't that bad. You were making a big deal out of nothing.
अच्छा, ये ओके।
तो इस पे क्या बोलेंगे?
क्वेश्चन था कि अगर हस्बैंड कुछ इस तरह का बोल रहा है, तो यकीनन वो भी उसके अंदर भी कुछ चल रहा होगा। क्या वो भी बैड फील कर रहा है, या वो भी स्ट्रेस्ड या कुछ इस तरह के हो सकता है, पॉसिबल है, या जस्ट हमें लगता है कि सिर्फ जिसको बोला जा रहा है वो उसके ऊपर ही, मतलब वो ही फील करता है बंदा, वाइफ?
I think if the relationship is good, he feels safe with you.
हम्म
He feels safe with you, and he still got attention on that area. जिसमें उसकी मदद हो जाएगी तो ये देख लेंगे, ये भी सही हो जाएगा.
हम्म
He'll see it and he will apologize and he will see कि आप hurt हुए हो. लेकिन अगर वो चीज नहीं handle हो रही, and that was something that was traumatic for him and he felt at ease, तो वो चीज आप handle कर लें तो ये चीज a big deal, foundation में. So it wasn't that bad. You're making a big deal out of nothing. इस पे क्या बोलेंगे? गलत क्या चीज होगी बोलना?
गलत ये होगी कि कहें कि नहीं नहीं वो गलत ही था। ऐसे आप कैसे कह सकते हैं कि वो गलत नहीं थी? आपने मेरे सबके सामने मुझे कहा, तो ये
सबके
गलत
सामने
होगा ना।
बेइज्जती कर दी और
बेइज्जती
आपको ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए था.
हम्म,
बहुत दफा ये होता है. whatever you get all
आप ऐसे ही हमेशा करते हैं।
हमेशा ऐसे करते हैं एग्जैक्टली
जब भी आप अपने रिश्तेदारों में होते हैं आप ऐसे ही करते हैं, नहीं?
जनरलाइजेशन करना उसको. हाँ,
हम्म,
आप हमेशा ऐसे ही हो, you don't care for me,
That's right. So again, you go back to, saying that I understand it didn't appear to be very serious for you, but I felt embarrassed in front of everyone because they were laughing after you said it. I feel I was being made a joke, so um, can you understand how I felt? I was in that position. I didn't feel you respected me, and other people were laughing at me, so they didn't respect me. And I didn't feel very happy about it. To agree with that, or do you think, what do you think? If you say, could you have said something else? Why did you say, why don't you know? What do you know about politics? Of course, I have some knowledge. It might not be as much as you have.
हम्म,
Doesn't mean I don't know anything about it. We're all learners in some field or the other. So I have my knowledge in, maybe I have more knowledge in the Quran or maybe in sociology, and I don't have that much in this field that you in AI, and because you work in it, you have more knowledge on it. So something like that. It doesn't mean that I be disrespected, one of the in public, right?
ओके।
ठीक
इससे
है.
ज्यादा बात नहीं जाएगी, बढ़ तो नहीं जाएगी इससे?
No, it depends. आप ARC को watch कर रहे हैं. अगर you're ready for it, then you
ओके,
say the
ट्रू
sentence.
ट्रू,
You have to bring him to that level. So, right?
या
So ARC को all the time आप अपनी watch कर रहे हैं, उनकी watch कर रहे हैं. Accordingly, you're saying it. It's not like fact sentences आप दे रहे हैं. You have to see. Okay, ये आ रहा है. You're the one who started it. You're always so sensitive. So you started talking about AI, so मैंने बोल दिया.
ब्लेम शिफ्टिंग होगी।
अभी तुम कंप्लेन कर रही हो all the time.
हम्म,
It's like this. खुद शुरू करती हो फिर उसमें नोट्स निकालती हो कुछ में
yeah.
हाँ तो अब क्या बोलोगे जुवेरिया सिस्टर जुवेरिया जाए
सिस्टर जेरिया शायद अभी कौन बोलेगा अभी? Yeah.
So what would be the wrong thing to say?
Hmm.
I didn't start it. You started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
reaction. और क्या होगा wrong? सिस्टर फाना और क्या चीज हम wrong कर सकते हैं इसमें? What could we do? क्योंकि ये इस लेवल पे एकदम से आ जाता है at sometimes. You're the one who started it. You're so sensitive.
तो फिर वही बात होगी कि हम बोलें कि आप ऑलवेज हमेशा यही करते हो, मेरी बात को सीरियस नहीं लेते और आप कहते हो कि मैं सेंसिटिव हूँ, आप खुद जो मर्जी बोलते रहो। इस
Yeah,
तरह
yeah, that would lead to it. Yeah, सिस्टर फाना आप शायद म्यूट हो गए थे.
Yeah. Yeah, you always are blaming me, again, always के statements use करके, you always, blaming me every time, generalize करना इसको. It was, yeah. You don't,
या बंदा
Yeah.
कहे कि आपसे तो बात करने का फायदा ही नहीं है।
yeah,
आप जब भी बात करें आप ये कहते हैं कि मैं सेंसिटिव हूँ।
हाँ,
Yeah, हमें
ओके अभी सही चीज बताएं क्या करेंगे सही क्या करेंगे
सही
क्योंकि वो
के
तो
लिए
फॉल्स सेल्फ में चले गए वो तो चले
Yeah.
गए फॉल्स सेल्फ में यू लॉस्ट हिम सो
Yeah.
अभी आपकी उनकी रियलिटी भी आउट है अफिनिटी भी आपसे गिर गई है कम्युनिकेशन अभी उस टॉपिक पे तो आप नहीं कर सकते राइट it sort of switched you got to raise it again so looks like I've upset you even that I didn't mean to upset you so something like that yeah and you can
Yeah.
always ask what do you mean what do you mean I'm so sensitive उससे भी आपको अपना डेटा मिलेगा उससे भी बहुत फायदा होगा you're getting feedback when he says something negative say okay give me an example okay give me an example and so oh okay I need to fix that in me I shouldn't have done that to use it as an opportunity because he's willing to tell you and he's got an audience who listens, is listening. So, let it be. आप data निकालें, अपनी belief systems को सही करें and rise, he will, I think, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. You can always ask questions to get more. Give me an example. Give me a specific example when this happened. Yeah. Yeah. When was the last time I did the same thing? When was the last time I was sensitive? Can you please give me an example? I want to see where I can correct myself, Okay.
Good.
That's a good one.
Number 5, you're just as rude as I am. You take a look at yourself. अब क्या देख रहे हो? Counter attack है.
Yeah.
वैसे
the right thing would
ये
be
जो लड़ाई है ये ऐसे लग रहा है बहुत सोफिस्टिकेटेड पर 2 पर्सन के दरमियान हो रही है यूजुअली ऐसे होता नहीं है
The
या तो
relationship
लोग
should be like that, though, Sister Javeria.
हाँ
The relationship should be like that.
लेकिन मैम फरीदा रियलिटी में लोग इतने डिसेंटली लड़ाई नहीं करते हैं
राइट तो होनी ही नहीं चाहिए Sister Javeria.
I mean,
बहुत ऐसी बातें हैं ना बात तो हो रही है हम इतने गिर क्यों गए
अब लड़ाई करने का तरीका थोड़ी पढ़ रहे हैं
लेकिन नहीं सच में अगर मेरा झगड़ा हो ना तो मैं तो ये कहूँ कि भाई मुझे एग्जांपल दो व्हाट डू यू मीन रादर देन मैं कहूँ कि मैं तो ये प्रेफर करूँगी मैंने खाना ही नहीं बनाना अब जो मर्जी हो जो
फिर वो पहली वाली चीजें हम इग्नोर कर रहे हैं ना we are not handling ourselves we need to handle ourselves before we talk so
लेकिन
you are
इसमें
just as rude as I am पे पूछती when was I rude please tell me I didn't mean to be rude. I must have done it unconsciously. Please tell me when was I rude?
इसका मतलब तो साफ हो गया। वो कहते ना कि आप नीचे आके और मीन्स कि आपने ऑलरेडी मान लिया इस चीज को कि देयर वाज समथिंग रॉन्ग यू डिड एंड वो दूसरा पर्सन साथ ही कहेगा जाके काम करो अपना जाओ। तुम्हें मैं एग्जांपल दूं।
नहीं, ये उस बात पे तो बात ही नहीं हो रही ना। जो इश्यू बाहर हुआ उस पे बात से हट गए। इन्होंने कहा यू आर जस्ट एज रूड एज आई एम, राइट? तो उस बात से तो हम हट ही गए। अभी तो आप इनको इस पे हैंडल कर रहे हैं कि आपकी रूडनेस उनको कब बुरी लगी है, बिकॉज ही स्टक इन दैट। So you just get that cleaned up, and maybe you stop the conversation today and take it up another time. The whole idea is कि relationship को build करना है, and you need to respect each other. So if he has that kind of impression about you, so there's something that you have done to cause that impression. वो उसकी जिम्मेवारी तो हमें लेनी चाहिए ना, right?
Yeah.
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि इस तरह से अगर वो काउंटर अटैक करता है तो फिर बेहतर है कि इस वक्त बात ना की जाए।
नहीं, मैं कह रही हूँ पूछे क्यों upset है, मैं कब रूड हुई?
Okay.
Maybe he says last time we were talking, you were rude to me in front of the kids. You said you shouted at me and you shouldn't have done that. And maybe he's right, So वो उसकी जिम्मेवारी लें फिर आप कि हाँ, maybe I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done that. You're right. I set an example. तो उनकी चीज को देखें because it's very valid and it gives you an opportunity to improve yourself, right?
और अगर कोई मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग हो तो वो भी क्लियर हो सकती है।
हाँ, exactly. Misunderstanding हो तो आप कैसे, oh, I meant it like this. I didn't mean it like that. उस पे भी वो सही हो जाते हैं क्योंकि वो फंसा हुआ है ना? So everything he says should be acceptable to you. Everything he says, because either you're going to fix yourself or you're going to help him, and you're going to solve the situation. There's nothing you cannot confront. आप में potential है to bring about that tranquility, peace, and a higher relationship, marriage relationship with him. So now you get to where he's saying the right things, I'm sorry if you felt hurt, but I didn't mean anything by it, right? Maybe आपने पकड़ना है because it wasn't right what happened. Even though he says it, and you say, well, why did you say it? It's not like you to do that. You usually don't do that. What happened? Was there something in the gathering that upset you? Did somebody say something rude to you that you got like that? तो वो आप उनकी जिम्मेवारी लें.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm not getting any response from the audience. Sister Fana and Sister Shazia.
Yeah.
बाकियों को समझ आ रही है? How are you doing on it? Does it make sense? थोड़ा चैट में लिखते हैं, आप चुप हो गए हो सब.
Yes, please आप अपना माइक खुले रखें, आप बात कर सकती हैं।
Yeah.
अगर करना चाहती हैं तो प्लीज।
The yes is for समझ आई है.
Yes is for समझ आई. Okay, that's fine.
Yes is समझ आई है. Okay. So do you agree with it? समझ आ गई है तो do you agree with it? Is it possible that you can aim towards it?
हमें ये थोड़ा लिखना पड़ेगा. We will have to write it down, because automatically नहीं आएंगी ना ये, because we are not used to this kind of dialogue. तो ये थोड़ा सा अब थोड़ी सी लिख एक दो बार लिख लें तो फिर then we get a habit of doing this inshallah.
एक तो एक्सपेरिमेंट भी कर ले।
Yeah. So maybe next
ट्रायल
time,
के तौर पे।
maybe next time, we can have role playing. Can we have that? I write the sentences and somebody does it properly. Should we do that next time?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible, it's so possible because if you start doing that, आप में बहुत ट्रस्ट पैदा हो जाता है आपके स्पाउस का, बहुत ट्रस्ट पैदा होता है, and then they start sharing things with you, and you raise the standard. and they need somebody like that. It's a tough world out there. So inshallah.
इंशाल्लाह। ये वाक़ई बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। हमें एक ही तरीका आता था, जैसे ही कोई बात होती है तो फ़ौरन हमारे ज़हन में आता है इसकी अपने ख़ानदान में ऐसे-ऐसे लोग हैं। इस तरह की बातें नेगेटिव चीज़ें आती हैं। नहीं कुछ सोच समझने इंसान को समझ ही नहीं आती कि हम इसको मतलब इसको सँभाल सकते हैं अभी सिचुएशन को या नहीं। लेकिन अगर हम अपनी इन चीज़ों का ख़्याल रखें, दूसरे को भी इंसान समझ के चलें, तो हो सकता है हम यकीनन इन चीज़ें काफ़ी हेल्पफुल रहेंगी, अगर हम अपने आप को थोड़ा-सा क्या कहना चाहिए ट्रेन कर लें इसके लिए।
तो आई थिंक ये जो सिस्टर जो भी कह रही है ना, सबर, आई थिंक इट्स अ बिलीफ सिस्टम। यू नीड टू चेक योर बिलीफ सिस्टम्स। वो जो पार्ट 2 में हमने पिछले सेशंस में कवर किया है, समथिंग इज ट्रिगरिंग द इमोशन, और वो आपका कोई बिलीफ सिस्टम है। यू हैव टू हैंडल इट एंड ब्रिंग इट इन लाइन विद अल किताब, एंड देन यू आर ओके। इट डजंट मैटर, कोई आपकी इज्जत नहीं ले सकता, कोई कुछ भी हार्म आप नहीं कर सकता। इफ यू टोटली बिलीव दैट, you're the ideal person for that, to be there to help your spouse. So I think Sabhat, आपका भी ओवरवेल्म हो रहे हैं, बिलीफ सिस्टम पीछे है कोई, उसको आप करें, हैंडल करें। पार्ट 2 में हम कवर कर रहे हैं, फिर वीडियोस में भी काफी कवर किया है कि कैसे डिगअप करें बिलीफ सिस्टम्स को। हमारी सारी एजुकेशन, हमारी सारी अपब्रिंगिंग, दे हैव लेड लेयर्स एंड लेयर्स एंड लेयर्स ऑफ बिलीफ सिस्टम जो अल किताब के साथ नहीं अलाइन कर रहे। And this is our job to clean ourselves, purity की तरफ जाएं।
ये सिस्टर्स बात प्लीज़ मुझे याद करवाइएगा, मैं आपको ना रिकॉर्डिंग्स भेजूँगी प्रीवियस सेशंस, मेरा ख़्याल आपने मिस किए हैं। प्लीज़ मुझे एक मैसेज सेंड कीजिएगा, मैं आपको ना रिकॉर्डिंग्स भेजूँगी।
That's very good. तो पार्ट 2 पे भी हैं आप? पार्ट 2 पे हैं? सिस्टर Sabhat is on part 2 or?
Yes.
I'm stuck in part 2. You can reach out to me. जहाँ पे भी stuck हो मेरे साथ बात करें, and I'll help you too. क्विज पे stuck हो गए हो, नहीं पास हो रहे हो, आप मुझे कांटेक्ट करें, I'll inshallah help you, right? No issue. Okay. So ignoring the issue, ये बोलते हैं, अब क्या करेंगे? ये जल्दी से कर लें। Your spouse may refuse to discuss it, ये नहीं बात करनी मेरी।
Yeah, I mean, you can say that this is important to me. So please let me know what time will work best for you. But we need to really get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. Okay, it's important. It affects our relationship. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you got this one coming up. Apologizes and promises to change. Your spouse may acknowledge their behavior and apologize, promising to make an effort to be more respectful in future. He made a mistake. I'm sorry. Right? And that's good. Right? And that's okay. Good?
उस वक़्त हम और हमारा बिहेवियर क्या होना चाहिए उस वक़्त, लाइक वाइफ का क्या होना चाहिए? खुशी तो होती ही है, लेकिन वो वाली तो नहीं होनी चाहिए जो अच्छा मैं जीत गई।
That was the wrong one.
जो मेरे दिल में आ रहा है मैं बता रही हूँ आपको। जेन्युइन।
तो ये जीत वाली बात किधर से आ गई भाई? ये कोई दो लोग इन कंपटीशन तो नहीं है ना? So that will be also a belief system somewhere there, Sister Shazia.
I know. Yeah, I understand.
And you give very examples that I think relate to all our lives. So that's very helpful, जो आप suggest करते हैं. Okay. All right, so we finished this first scenario, and then we had this next one. Wife responsibility, the home, serving all the time, overwork, feels alone. Husband जो है वो समझते हैं मैं काम पे जाता हूँ, पैसे लाता हूँ, तो वो अपने फ्रेंड्स को टाइम देते हैं, फैमिली को देते हैं, ये जिम्मेवारियां हैं। तो इससे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पैदा हो रहा है in the wife. The husband doesn't have any problem with. तो इस पे कर सकते हैं next time. How will you address this? How is this a good one to talk about? What do you think?
Yeah, I think yes.
जी
कोई
Yeah. या आप लोग बताएं, प्लीज शेयर।
ये कहें पर नहीं लगता आपको चाहिए, you won't do it.
यस, अगर किसी को कुछ आइडिया शेयर करना चाहते हैं, कुछ और समझते हैं कि उस पे बात कर लें, तो आप बता दें, नहीं तो फिर मुझे तो ठीक लग रहा है। बाकी किसी और को कुछ आइडिया है तो?
सर्वे फॉर्म मैंने डाल दिया है, प्लीज सर्वे फॉर्म भरें, बताएं, यू नो, इज समबडी आंसरिंग इन द चैट? आप लोग खामोश हो जाते हो। आई जस्ट मिस यू ऑल, आई मिस यू ऑल, आई कांट सी यू, आई कांट हियर यू, आई कांट रीड व्हाट यू आर राइटिंग, सो व्हाट डू आई डू? हाँ,
पता नहीं, कभी-कभी ऐसे होता नहीं है।
क्यों खामोश? आर यू देयर?
कुछ बताएँ, कुछ थोड़ा-सा हमें आइडिया हो, या आपके कोई तो रीज़न होंगे ना
कैसा
जो
लगा
आप
आज का सेशन, कोई बता दे। नहीं अच्छा
Yeah.
लगा, सर्वे फॉर्म भरें, यू नो, टॉक टू अस, आर यू देयर?
जी, जी, मैं वही फॉर्म फिल करने चली गई थी।
अच्छा हो गया।
जी, जी, हाँ, मैं फिल करके इंशाल्लाह फिर मैं वापस आती हूँ।
अच्छा ठीक है,
जी,
बाकी
इंशाल्लाह।
फिर कल में, you know, and tell us, I'm going to stop the recording, is it okay?
Yeah.